Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm AmalgamAsh, and this is Shadowbringers, Final Fantasy XIV Online. You can read. I don't know, I'm reading that to you. So recently I had the pleasure of being able to log in after taking a long hiatus away from the game. I got 4 days of free playtime, and I wanted to take this opportunity to show you my OCs, my original characters. You know, obviously for as many people that play this game, it's there's going to be dozens of characters that have the exact same sets of features and whatnot, but I only ever encountered one clone of myself. Anyway, Serilde in there at the top. That's my main, while Vlaine Falconois here is my second most popular character. Next we have Gosselin Drake, which the appearance here is intended to convey somebody who's half Hewer, half Elezen. They are also supposed to invoke a bit of goth imagery. Of course they don't right now, because they're in their summer outfit that I was able to win multiple pieces of by participating in the Costa del Sol event a few months ago, several months ago now. This is Maria Sekzen. She is a bard. I went ahead and boosted her. One of my favorite OCs that I've created is this dark-skinned rabbit lady. And Vera Delacourt, a very special Elezen. Yeah, these are the ones that I have spent the most time on, and I want to make another one. So today I'm going to be making a character, a Hewer, a female, and it's going to be a character that I have decided to call Serilde. We'll take a look at her in the inner skivvies here, so we get a better look at what we're doing. And for those of you who don't really play Final Fantasy XIV or haven't been able to get into it, at least as far as its character creator, this will give you somewhat of an idea of what it's like to create a human character in the engine. There's already videos by the hundreds out there that explain all the different hair options and all the different races and everything, so I'm not going to get into that. I really just want to make Serilde. And I have a pretty solid image in my mind of who Serilde is and what I want her to look like and how I think of her appearing and how I imagine her taking care of her own appearance, because these are characters that, you know, we all have our characters that we make in the MMOs when we play them, or any chance that we get to customize your character. But I take it a little bit of a step further because I do a bit of writing for these characters. So anybody that I make is somebody that I'm going to use as a muse at some point. Serilde, which the name is it's borked. It's not pronounced correctly. I know this, but it's pronounced correctly because that is their name. I've written a lot about that character, and quite a bit about Vlaine as well. And these other characters are kind of guest stars in the overall story. And Serilde is just somebody that I decided fit a need. If her personality is going to fill a role, and just a different kind of character, somebody I haven't made before, somebody that I haven't made anybody like before. So the first time I made Serilde was for World of Warcraft. She was a human, and I made her a druid, and I actually started her off as a worgen, and I really wanted to have her kind of be as many different animals and be able to transform it as many different shapes and things as possible, and really be somebody who communed a lot with nature. So that's why I had her be a worgen as well as a druid, because in Warcraft, World of Warcraft, you're able to transform from into your worgen form at any time, which for those of you who don't play World of Warcraft, worgen is the werewolf race. And with the stipulation that while you can run around all day long as your human form, you're going to transform into that werewolf automatically when it's time to fight, because that's where all the battle combat animations and stuff are. I made Serilde Druid because I wanted her to be a shapeshifter, somebody who was able to transform into the different animals and beasts that Druid offers in that game. So that was kind of my vision of her there, and it was really successful. It's going to be a lot harder to translate that into Final Fantasy because we don't have a class in Final Fantasy or a job, by which they're called, that can do that sort of thing. So I guess I'll have to start her off as maybe a conjurer or maybe a summoner. Well, one thing about Serilde is she has a hairstyle in World of Warcraft that I describe as meat hooks. It's the longer hairstyle. It's about as long as her hair is right here, and it's got one sort of hook shape in the front and one in the back, and it's asymmetrical, and it's really nice. It looks really great, especially for the aesthetic of that game. Here I'm gonna have a little bit of a challenge trying to make her look somewhat mature. This is a very childish face. I'm kind of just exploring right now, and the facial features and everything will translate into different versions of those same kind of facial features when you go back to the face and change it to one of the 4 preset faces, as you'll see here in a second. See how these faces look a lot different now than they did earlier when I was looking at the faces earlier, because they all have different nose and jaw and mouth shapes applied to them. So this particular face might have looked goofy before, and in fact this one does now, kind of, just in my opinion. Whereas before they had slightly different looks. I mean, significantly different. You can still kind of tell if you play this game regularly that, hey, that's face number 1, hey, that's face number 3. But by changing the individual pieces of the face, you can get some pretty good results. You can turn a what might seem like a bad face into a pretty nice looking one. So we're still just playing around with the options. Pretty sure I want to go with this hair color, because her hair in World of Warcraft is just red. I mean, it's the bright, friendly red. It's not too harsh. But for faces, I mean, we have so many that just don't look good for this character here. I'd like her to look less sad, but we'll continue playing with the options and see if we can insinuate that she's not walking around all sad looking all the time. I'll also take a look at some different hair options. Sometimes it's best to have a shorter hairstyle just to be able to see the facial features a little better. This particular hairstyle is pretty cute, and it really invokes the meat hook sort of description that I had of the other one. I can already see, I think I've got a pretty good nose. So I'm going to stay with type 5. I picture Serilde as somebody who is outdoors all of the time. She has pretty pasty skin, so her skin condition kind of suffers while she's outdoors. So there's a number of these facial tattoos that might look appropriate. A lot of them are fairly silly. We have the cat whiskers. We have the whole half face. I mean, they have their place for sure. But then others like the sort of blotchy skin, what looks like rosacea, and then the freckles are very useful for conveying, less than perfect skin. Definitely a different social norm here, and I really, really like that. We also gave her a beauty mark by her mouth. I mentioned that I write about these characters substantially. I don't have a whole lot written about Serilde yet. I kind of have where I think she needs to go in an overall story. Checking out the voices, we have some ones that are absolutely unacceptable. And then we have some that are actually pretty decent. But if you watched my video on Elder Scrolls Online, my main character is a Goslin Drake. And this is actually Goslin's half-sister. I think that's what I want. As you can see, I have quite a few appearances saved. Those aren't all mine. Some of them are my wife's as well. But yeah, we're very fond of creating new characters to write about. Alright, let's get her a birthday and then some clothes, and then I made her birthday the first day of spring, basically. Although the Eorzean calendar months seem to have at least one extra day tacked on. This month has 32 days, so I might try to account for the extra day. And then although the Guardian selection is fairly moot and has nothing to do with anything anymore, it is still fun to select one. I'll be selecting Nafika because Nafika is the goddess that represents spring and the harvest and plants and nature and farming and all of that good stuff. Tender of soils and harvests, goddess of abundance. That's the good stuff right there. I don't think I want her to be a marauder. That's a tank class. I think we're gonna go with something that is very nature based and nice. And I think that the healer very much suits her more so than, say, being an Arcanist or any of the DPS classes. So if I ever want to level her up, she's going to have a very easy time leveling. That's it. I just made Serilde Haywood in Final Fantasy XIV. That's all this video really was. We'll do a little bit of playing on my main OC another time. I only had 4 days for free, and I'm not resubscribing to this game just yet. I have a lot of other stuff that I need to get through and get past and play through and complete, and priorities are priorities, so this game will be here waiting for me when I get back to it. So we'll do that later, so please look forward to it. Let me know what you thought, comments below. How much attention do you give to creating your characters in MMOs? Do you have a lot of experience doing it? Do you have a favorite character style? Do you find yourself more attracted to particular MMOs because of the way that they play or their systems, or perhaps their character designs and art style? Let me know. I would love to hear from you. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate the attention, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.